Can you hear me better now? Yeah, the problem is I hope it's not picking up my video camera. Okay. No, it's showing my speakers. Okay, then let's go ahead and do this. Hello again, everybody. This is Mr. Everything, and I'm coming at you with another one of our From the Verse episodes. Sorry this took a little bit long to get set up. We had a no-show. Katz is not going to be able to make it. Apparently he's got to work tonight, or early in the morning tomorrow, so he actually went to bed early tonight. So we're not going to be talking about the Starfarer tonight. But Parasite has come prepared to talk about the 300i and the 300 series, and I have come prepared to talk about the new ship, the Gladius. Okay, so let's go ahead and get this show on the road, and let's go ahead and cut this video off and bring up this. Okay. Well, glad to see you, Parasite. I'm glad you made it. Appreciate that. And we have a couple of different things to talk about. Without Katz being here, it should go by pretty fast because he's so long-winded. But no, I'm kidding. But yeah, we had a good old time last week with the aliens. If you guys haven't checked out that video, you should go learn about the alien races in Star Citizen, because we dug a little deeper than normal, and we expressed our own personal opinions and thoughts about how the aliens might interact with each other, and we considered the UEE to be an alien race because it's in the future. It's going to be different than what we're used to, so that's kind of like being an alien. So but tonight we are going to be talking about starships. We're back on track with starships, and we're going to try to get these knocked out. Tonight we had Tonight we had set up to do the Starfarer 300 series and the Freelancer for some reason, and I didn't realize that I already talked about the Freelancer back in episode 4. So I switched today over to the Gladius. I did like I crammed to learn about the Gladius, and so we're going to talk about that, in a bit. Okay, but before we do that, my co-host here is Parasite, and he's part of both units, our Mech Warrior unit and our Star Citizen unit, and he's my XO, and he will shed a lot of light on different things. Being prior service and being in the Navy, he probably knows a lot about getting wet. Okay. And he's just being very stoic and not laughing.
Sorry, mystery. Yeah. There we go. Okay.
There you go. You must have spent some time looking for those. All right. So, well, let's talk about what you and I what we've been doing from the last time you were on, which has been about 2 weeks because you skipped last week. So, like, what have you been doing to kind of get ready for Star Citizen?
Mystery, one of the things I've been doing, of course, is I'm still trying to master that arena commander, and I'm not part of the 200,000. I wish I was, but and I know Whole Lumber's been working up to level 11, level 12. About the same levels that you've been doing,
right?
And I'm still at level 5, I think. I'm still trying to get that down.
Okay.
As far as, but it's probably what it probably is. You and I discussed it before. I think it's my video card, and that is one of the things I want to go out to everybody about. And that is, if you're going to be playing this game, I highly recommend getting yourself a good high-end machine to play this game. Don't go with anything cheap. Cheaping out is not going to help you out. In fact, it's probably going to make things very difficult to master.
Yeah, yeah, because you're gonna have, if you don't have a really good video card, I guess you're gonna see the choppiness. The game's gonna kind of move like this. The game, as far as it's concerned, on their end, it's moving smooth, right? But on your end, you're like trying to catch up to what they've already done. So they probably already blew you up before you even realized you've been blown up.
Oh yeah,
You know?
yeah. That's been happening quite a bit.
And yeah, so you got to basically be on par. Now, I don't think you need to go out and get a Titan, $1,000 video card or whatever, or even a 780 or something like that. That's pretty expensive too, isn't it? Like $500 or $600. I'm thinking that you don't need a card like that. I'm thinking that a 770 is going to do me, because I'm in a 660 right now, and I can see that it runs the game smooth. Everything's not glass, but it does run it pretty smooth. If I don't put it on the maximum settings, a couple of steps down, maybe medium or high instead of the very high. And but I run into a problem when I try to do my surround sound video. When I have all of my, I say surround sound when it's really the video, when I have all 3 of my monitors lit up with my cockpit, and I'm able to look left and look right in my cockpit, the graphics card can't keep up, and then I start getting choppy. So I've got to beat that, So, and I've looked at the 770. It seems to be pretty economical. I'm looking at maybe a $300 video card. So $300. Yeah, I thought about getting it this last paycheck, but I held off. I'm going to probably get it on my next one, because, electricity is important.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I understand. If you're on a budget, though, I was thinking maybe 2 660s hooked together would be better. But then I thought about it, and I don't know, 770 seems like it would be the better way to go. So that's probably what you're running into too. You're probably having a problem with your video card, and
right.
And it's slowing you down. But also, it might be the how you're playing it. I mean, I don't know how you're playing it. Are you playing it with a mouse, a keyboard? Are you playing it with joystick? Or are you playing it with a game controller? Or how are you playing it?
I'm actually using a mouse and a keyboard.
Okay.
So, I mean, I have a joystick. It's an old one.
Yeah.
But it's a wireless joystick. And that is the other thing I've noticed, too, is that you probably want to use a wired joystick rather than a wireless, as far as the signal. Because you've got degradation, signal degradation going on, even at a close range, and that is something that I've noticed.
Yeah, I think that's true in all wireless devices, because you have to wait for that signal. Where the wired devices, they don't need that extra bit of communication. But that's really not what drew me away from any wireless devices. What drew me away is that they run out of juice. You got to have them charged. And you're in the middle of a game, and then all of a sudden now your joystick's not working, and you're like, what's going on? It's because it's just ran out of power, and that means I have to stock up on batteries or something. Why don't I just plug it in? It'd be a lot easier.
Yeah.
And to me, I think joysticks are not the way to go right now in the dogfight module, because you have a little bit more control over your plane, the way you're going to turn or pitch or yaw and all that stuff. But just being able to have those guns point exactly where you want them and shoot is way better than being able to fly perfectly straight, because I can point at a target and the plane can catch up, And so I think the mouse and joystick, mouse and keyboard, I think, is the kind of the way to go right now until they get all the settings in for the joysticks where all my buttons do things. Right now they don't, Yeah. So anything else? Are you doing anything else?
No, that's it. That's
Okay.
it right now. I've been looking at, I've actually been keeping up with the jump point,
Okay.
and also looking back at some of the older releases as well. In fact, that was what I did for my for the 300i that we're going to be talking about today.
Okay. So you went back to the jump point to get some of your info.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I wanna say what I've been doing, and I don't mean to toot my own horn or anything, but I got to level 14.
Hey,
Yeah, on the wave. I'm on
congratulations.
wave 14. I get killed in wave 14, so now I have to clear wave 14, and I have to clear wave 15 because I think there's 15 waves. Uh, but I'm telling you, 13 is hard. 13's hard, and then 14's hard, and then so those are like it's hard. So but I've been regularly getting to 14 now. Before I was regularly getting to 11, then I was regularly getting to 13, and now I'm on 14. So I can actually see a progression in skill or technique. Or basically it's just the guns I'm using now to get there. And I think with a 770, you're right. I probably will cut back a lot of the uh, lag that might be going on, and so I might be able to get to 15 without, maybe the machine, the ghost in the machine. Maybe I need my machine to help me out. But I did realize that when I had my 3 monitors on, it was much easier to know when there was a vandal on my left and when there was a vandal on my right. I just couldn't fly straight because the mouse wouldn't move and the graphics just wouldn't fly straight. But I felt like I still had a chance because I could see everything. But it's not. You got to get a graphics card. Now, what I've done is I've recorded and uploaded a few more of our Star Charts series. If you want to go into YouTube and check that out, you'll see Star Charts. What I do is I take each of the systems one at a time, and I talk about everything that's been revealed to us about those systems, and then I kind of put it in a kind of like a documentary style video where it says like Planet 1 has blah blah blah, Planet 2 does this, and be careful because there are pirates, and I go through all that. So it's been pretty easy because I have a list of worlds. I didn't realize how many I had missed. I had done about 5 or 6 a year ago, and kind of put it off, and then I realized that a lot more information has come out since the last time I did it. I went through and I counted all the different worlds that I have information on now. I probably had another 6 or 7 worlds to do, so I said, okay, I'm just going to crank these out. So right now I think I got somewhere in the neighborhood of like 8 different systems with that kind of information. I just finished uploading the Magnus system. Pretty cool. Go check it out. That's where the pirates hang out. Okay, then we go to last thing I'm doing, which I've been I'm going to be honest, I've been putting it off and kind of not really working on it, but when I get a few extra minutes, I do jump into it. I'm trying to get this flight manual finished. Something cool that I have been using is voice recognition. The voice attack software that people have been using, I got that. I played with it a little bit. It's not that exciting. I mean, when there's a lot more to be controlled in the game, I think voice attack would be exciting. But right now, it's really not that big of a deal. But what that did was it opened my eyes, because now I'm actually reciting or dictating to my computer, and it's actually writing my sentences for me. So all I have to do is just talk to my computer, and it writes out my manual that I'm typing. I don't have to get here and type on the keyboard, because I can talk faster than I can type. So I think that's helping me out a lot. The only thing that I have problems with is sometimes it doesn't understand words. Like one specific word, I said sweet, and I meant like sensor sweet and not candy sweet. And so it spelled it like candy, But it knows me. I like candy. So I don't know. Okay, what's going on in our current events in the universe? We hit 48 million. Yeah,
Yeah.
48 million. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
That's cool.
Yeah.
Definitely cool.
They sold a lot of these Gladius. Apparently, the Gladius sales and they said the dog tag sales pushed them over 48. They also announced that the Retaliator commercial should be next. Can't wait. Okay, because I have a Retaliator. And then now something that came out 2 weeks ago that we kind of just skipped over and glazed over, didn't really talk about, was the asteroid hanger. You saw some videos about the asteroid hanger. So what did you think about those?
That looked pretty cool, and especially the way that they what they did as far as it was inside CIG, and it was the art of the asteroid hanger, and that was very interesting as far as what they're doing and what kind of look they're going for. So I think anyone that gets that's able to get that, I think is going to have a lot of fun with it. Just getting inside the hangar but my question is, how big is it going to be? Because it looks like it's actually kind of small compared to if you run it in comparison to what we have right now in terms of hangars.
I don't know. I got the opposite of feeling from the asteroid hanger. It felt
Really?
to me like it was not like our hangars that we have are probably all kind of like in a straight line.
Right.
Everything's laid out as a side by side.
Mm-hmm.
Where that I think is more probably the same size as the deluxe hangar. Because when I had my Constellation, it automatically gave me a deluxe hangar, and those hangars have landing spots in a line, but also behind and to the side. They have these smaller fighters would sit behind, and the big ships would all be in the main hangar, and then it had the upstairs with the walkthrough and the elevator and stuff. And I kind of got the feeling that it was like that in the asteroid hangar, but like compartmentalized, like a room over here. You got to walk around this like pillar of stone to get to another room, and I thought that was pretty cool. I mean, I could kind of see where you would think it would be smaller because of the smaller rooms, but I think that because of that, it might take up more area, but volume on the inside might be smaller. I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying. But, but yeah, I just thought it was really cool. Now, you also saw the Gladius, how that just came out, and people are buying it up. And I've heard some negative comments about the Gladius and heard some positive comments about the Gladius. And I'm just going to give you guys my opinion. When it comes up to the Gladius, we'll talk about the Gladius. Parasite and I will talk about it, and we'll give our opinion of it. Okay, so that brings us to our main subject of the show, and that's even more ships. So we're going to talk about the 300 series, and we're going to talk about the new Gladius. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up some pictures on the left side here for. Where are you going? Okay. I'm going to bring up some pictures for the audience to see about the new. Okay, if I can even find my. Oh, here it is. My pictures. There we go. So, yeah, just go ahead, Parasite. Let's start talking about the 300 series.
Okay.
So what we're talking about is the 300i, the 315, the 325, and the 350R. Yeah.
Yes.
So the racer, the
four
fighter,
variants. Yep.
explorer, and then just the overall one.
Well, the 325A is actually that's the military version. That's the militarized version. What I thought was interesting, and of course the 315 is more for, they actually bumped up the cargo by about, what was it? I think it was about 8 freight units. Oh. And yeah, I think it was about 8. And because it's the cargo capacity is 16 freight units. The 315P has 24 freight units. Now the 350R, interestingly enough, has no freight units because it's a racing model.
Right.
So that was interesting to me. the fact that they're not going to include anything in there. But the other thing is that there's when you look at the hard points, as far as the different models, there's while the 300i has lasers, there's room or there are options. One of the options that you're seeing in the 315p and the 325A, well, the 315p has an option for a tractor beam, and that's something I don't think we've talked about, have we? I don't think we've talked about a tractor.
No, not
Uh,
really. We know it exists, but we haven't really focused in on it.
yeah, and that's something that again, that's an option you're going to have with your exploration model. Whereas in the 325A, we're looking at the option we're looking at there is the Klaus and Werner Sledge 2, which I believe are guns, if I remember correctly. Memory serves me correctly. Um, so if you want to, Mystery, if you want to check on that while I'm talking about this.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, Klaus and Werner make weapons. I know that for sure,
Yeah.
but I'm gonna look it up.
Okay. I guess it's a mass driver. Is it a mass driver?
Uh,
But
the
I'm
one in
seeing,
the nose.
yeah, I'm seeing,
Yeah, that should be a master. Should be a mass driver.
okay. Yeah, it's a ballistic weapon. And then when you also look at, again, there's one of the other things I was looking at were Talon Stalker IR missiles, four of them that you can put onto the 325A. Whereas on the 300i and the 315p, it says 2x2 by S3. And I was looking at jump point. I was trying to figure out what the heck is an S3.
My understanding
But
is you have class weapons, and then you have size of weapons.
hmm
Okay, so an S3 is probably a bigger, more badass missile than an S2, and which is bigger than and more badass than an S1. It's probably the size of the missile. But then again, it says 4 size 2
right,
Talon Stalker IRs, and then it's S3.
right.
So what does that mean?
I don't know.
Right, but it has 2 on each side, so 2 by 2.
Yeah, which
Yeah.
is cool. Which is
And
cool.
but then it says 4 times, which would be true, because
Yeah.
if you have 2 on each side, you're going to have a total of 4. Size 2 Talon Stalker infrared. Yeah, and the S2, because we all know that a class 1 is the fixed firing forward. The class 2 is kind of the that's the guns that are like what do they call that? Pintle mounted or
hmm
canyard or whatever they call that, where you kind of tilt left and right, up and down. And then class 3 is missiles. I think class 4 is like a turret.
Yeah.
I think. Let me compare it to, like, let's say a Hornet. Just kind of eyeballing it. Let's look at the military version of the Hornet. Yeah, class 3 is missiles. Class 4 is the ball turret. Yeah, or the canyard. The Badger or the Bulldogs. Where they have neutrons in the nose and they have Gatlings out on the wings. So yeah, that's 1, 2, 3, and 4.
hmm
Yeah, absolutely. So obviously the 300 doesn't have a turret.
Nope. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and reposition my camera for just a second
Okay.
on my screen. Can you see that? Is that coming through? Is my screen coming through?
Yeah, but yeah,
Yes.
uh,
Sort of.
sorta. Yeah,
Okay.
that
It,
shows. That looks like a jump point.
yeah.
Okay,
And
stop wiggling it.
okay.
Okay, what are we looking at? Structure stats.
Yeah, we're looking at the 300i stats, and notice that the builder's origin jump works. Length of this is actually 24 meters.
Yeah.
You've got room for the pilot. 200, what is it? 20,000 kilograms. Upgrade capacity, they have 6. Cargo capacity, they have 8 tons. However, I'm going to go ahead and go back to the ship specs. When you look at the ship specs here,
What jump point was
um,
that?
this was actually the original. Let's see. Here it
Because
is,
the
issue
stats might have
one.
changed.
Yeah, I think so. Because see, the issue here was issue 101.07.
Right.
So
What jump point issue was that?
I think it was that four or five? I thought.
Well, seven's got a
Well,
300i
that's
on the
seven.
cover.
Yeah, Series 7.
Okay.
Series 7. 01.07. So it's
Okay.
Series 7.
Okay. I got the 300i stats up.
Yeah. So, um, and the stats were unless 8 tons is 16. If that's equal to 16 freight points,
Yeah,
whatever they're
because they've
calling it.
changed. They changed from cargo tonnage to freight units.
Right.
Right, and I don't know what a freight unit is. It could be. It's not necessarily the same on each ship.
Right.
Right.
And
They've
then,
changed it around a little bit.
yeah. Yeah. If you look at the thrusters are hammer propulsion HE 5s, 5.3s.
Yeah.
Um, maneuvering thrusters, 12 maneuvering thrusters, which makes it very versatile. Again, when I think about 12 maneuvering thrusters, I start thinking of is the Navy DDG compared to, let's say, the old destroyers. Because the DDG actually has bow thrusters, which means that with a standard ship, when you're coming into port, you would actually have to have tugs to push you so that you can go alongside, so you could actually sidle up to the pier. With the newer ships with bow thrusters, you could do it by yourself. You don't need any help from anybody.
Right.
Like if you've been seeing the program The Last Ship on television, that's a perfect example of a ship that has bow thrusters. Um, shields, notice right here, we've got Gorgon Defender all-stop shields. Now, the interesting thing about if you look at the hard points here, you'll see that it says that there's nothing equipped for the 300i, with the exception of on the outer wings, which are the laser cannons.
Right.
And I'm going to go ahead and point that back at me now.
Yeah. Yeah.
There we go. Okay. So what we're looking at now as far as the ship, is that back on me? Okay. Yeah. All right. So what we're looking at as far as the ship is we're looking at, I had a chance to run with 300i in the Arena Commander, and I liked it.
Yeah.
I think that was helping me get ahead within as far as working with the working against the Vanduul sometimes than my Hornet.
Right.
But because I could cheat with this, so, as far as the missiles. But that was cool. I liked it. The running that trainer was really neat. It was fun. But the one question I've had is going to be the speed. What is this going to do for speed? Is this going to be a fast, just how fast is this going to be? Is this going to be a ship where I'd have to wait for an enemy to come in close in before I can take them out? Or is this going to be something that I could work with from a distance?
Right.
What do you think?
I think it's going to be faster than a lot of other ships. Its class, just because of the size of the engines and because it's lightweight. It's not built like a Hornet where the tonnage isn't there. Mm-hmm. So if it has the same size thruster as a Hornet, it's going to go faster because it's lighter, I think. But there is a maximum limit to how fast you can move, artificially set by CIG or Chris Roberts. He says because he wants it to be a dogfighting game, so everybody's going to be able to catch everybody is what I'm kind of gathering. Now, you might be able to catch them faster, but everybody's going to get caught, Now, when it gets out into the persistent universe and they're not limited in a box, because right now we're we're kind of in an arena, you know, and by being in an arena, you can't escape. You know, all you can do is fly around, and you got to turn around when you get to the edge. You know, where out in the persistent universe, you can keep flying, and there's no stopping you. So if you're a little bit faster, you might be able to escape. Or you know, if you're slow, you're not going to be able to escape. So I think the 300i is going to be one of those ships that can escape. Even the 350, of course, it's a racer though, but it's supposed to be faster. But I don't think the Hornet's going to be catching anybody. You know, I think it's slow and steady, and it's a dogfighter. It's slow and lumbering, but when it gets there, it's more like what I'm thinking. It's more like, if you're putting it in World War II perspectives, I think of the Hornet as the Wildcat. On a naval fighter, it's a Wildcat. It's got, you know, armored cockpits and armored body, where the maybe the 300i is a little bit more like the Zero. It can fly a little bit faster. It's a little bit more nimble, but it can't take that same kind of hit. And because of that, but it has good guns on it, and that's kind of like the Zero. The Zero's got its nice cannon in the nose, where this doesn't. So what's going to win? You know, Zeros are great at dogfighting, but then again, once you learn how to defeat them, the Wildcats were doing much better at the end of the war. You know, so that's my opinion.
Okay.
And I'm going to stick to it.
Okay, which brings me to yours now. I think we've pretty well covered those. The only thing you and I really didn't cover was the 350R. Where is that? I'm trying to think where that's going to fit in. And the only thing I could think of would be one system where you might use a 350R to actually make some money within the game.
Well, it's a racer. Yeah, it's a racer, and so you're getting. It's like taking a race car, or a race plane into a dogfight. You don't do that. You don't take a racing plane into a dogfight. It's not what it's built for, and that's what I think the 350R is. It's a race plane, so you have to pretty much ferry it from point A to point B if you don't want a pirate to steal it or something.
Right.
Because I don't think it's going to hold its own in a fight. But then again, if they jump you with whatever they're jumping you with, all you got to do is just fire up the engines and you're gone, and nobody's going to catch you. So you don't have to fight. You know, it's one of those that you don't. I think it's like a rich man's plane. You don't really. Has no any real purpose, but it's just cool to have. Yeah. You know. That's what I think the 350 is all about. And yeah, I hopefully in the game they'll have the like a yearly cup race where you race a specific track. Now, if you did any research on the cup racing in Star Citizen, there are a number of smaller races that you have to compete in and earn points to be allowed into the Murray Cup. Okay, so once you have to go to like 10 different planets. I think the number was 10. You had to earn up to 10 points to get into the Murray Cup. And I think you got like 2 points for a win, or maybe 3 for a win, 2 for a second place, and you get 1 point for a third place. So if you play in 10 of these matches and you get third place every time, then you'll be allowed in like the Murray Cup.
Right.
But if you win first place, you don't have to go through all 10 of them, you know, or something like that. But yeah, you got to earn so many points in these preliminary rounds, and if you keep losing, then you're not going to make it to the Murray Cup. You know, and so I think what they're saying is there's only going to be about 10 racers in the Murray Cup.
Right.
I'm kind of guessing that, and you know they're all different races and nationalities or whatever, and they compete, and I have no idea what the prize is, but it could just be a trophy. But I hope they do that in the game. I hope they have 10. They could do them monthly. Each month have like the preliminary rounds, and then the 11th month have the Murray Cup, and then a month off or something like that. I think that would be That would be awesome, you know, if they would do that. Because, you know, that would give those guys that bought the 350 a reason to exist. Okay.
Yep. In fact, what you're talking about right now also, and I didn't want to deviate because I want to get into the Gladius. I think we should get to the Gladius. But
Okay.
One of the things I was just thinking about, because you were just describing what I was looking at in Jump Point 18.
Okay.
Because they were going over the M50. So, but that was just, it's just a sideline.
Yeah, because the M50 is also another racer.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so what about this event? What about this Gladius?
Well, it's a piece of garbage. No, hang on.
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding. No, just hang in there. I got to drink me a drink here. I got to wet my chops before I start talking about the Gladius.
Okay.
Okay. Well, they just revealed it this last week, right? And they're only selling it for 1 week. So if you want a Gladius, you got to buy it. And the week's almost up. So jump in on that and get it. Now I'm going to jump over to another page. Boom. Okay. I've got quite a few different photos of artistic photos like this one, but I also have some graphical, I guess they call it gray boxes of the Gladius. The Gladius is being created by Squadron 42 for you and I to use during Squadron 42. Are we going to be in Hornets? Maybe not. Are we going to be in Gladius? Definitely, for sure. So is this going to be what we start in first and then we have to work our way up to the Hornet? I don't know, because they said the Hornet is the aging fighter of the Navy, and if that's the case, then this is the new fighter, because they say this has the updated fire control system, updated avionics and everything else, and to me it looks like a space fighter. Before I go into all the details and stuff like that about the Gladius, I want to just kind of give my first impressions of the look and feel of the Gladius. Okay, when you jump into the cockpit of the Gladius, right, and you're sitting there and you're looking at it, what does it look like to you? That looks like probably a little bit older jet fighter from maybe the 90s. Okay, that's what I'm seeing. It looks exactly like the cockpit I'm using for our From the Verse broadcast. You know, you got the two little multifunction displays, one on the left, one on the right. You got a compass. What are you using a compass for in space? You know, and then, I mean, I'm sure it's not exactly a compass. You know, and then you got your speedometer, and, you know, it just, the handles to adjust your throttle is like a big thick bar that you have to kind of crank. You know, to me that's pretty cool, actually. Let me get to some more of these pictures. There's another one that was Around the Verse, a picture from Around the Verse. You'll notice it says Navy UE. It's kind of stickers it's got on it. 661 is this number, and it's kind of beaten and it's worn. To me, that looks cool. It has the wing cannons just like a Hornet. It has the nose cannons just like a Hornet. It just doesn't have a turret. Okay, that's what will that do? That might adjust the way it flies and how you go about using it when you fly. Plus, it won't require such a big power plant to power all those extra weapons. So so it's going to be lighter, and that's why it's classified a light fighter. So it's going to be a lot faster. Okay, Okay, now I have a comparison of the Aegis compared against the Retaliator. Okay, because to me, you know, I like putting comparisons up of ships and how they compare to other ships in size, because we don't actually have those ships in our possession to really know which one's bigger, which one's smaller. But this Gladius looks pretty big if you compare it to the Retaliator. I mean, it looks, I don't think the Hornet would be that big, or maybe it would be. It might be exactly the same size, but it does look kind of sizable. Now I have another picture right here. Somebody did this, don't know who. I saw it online. I had to download it. it's a picture of the Gladius painted blue like a naval World War II fighter, like a Wildcat. Okay, it's blue, and it's got the AT back there, attack. One guy's number 19, the other guy's 52, both in the Navy. I think that's pretty cool. I think that is probably my favorite picture of the Gladius right there, the one with the naval blue color. I think that's just cool. Now, having seen this, I want to let you know that our squadron might adopt this as a paint scheme or something similar to this, because for one thing, that blue is going to be hard to see against the blackness of space. And I think that's a good thing. You know, it's almost like space camouflage, but when you get up close, it looks pretty. You know, that's and you got to look pretty. It's important. Okay. Okay. And that's my personal opinion, is I think this thing looks good. Now I want to tell you what I've heard out there and about. I heard that the Gladius was unimaginative. People said, "Oh man, that's just a stick with wings or whatever," you know. And I'm like, I'm looking at it and I'm saying, what are they talking about? It looks like a space fighter. You're not going to have some crazy looking Zeon scout looking ship. Everybody's not going to be flying that. The humans are more about, and the UEE is more about durability, ruggedness, the Roman Empire, that kind of stuff. So you're going to see ships that are durable. Lost your picture, but that's probably because you're fixing something. Okay. Yeah, the Gladius looks awesome. Okay, so now let's talk about stats. Or let's talk about where it's being produced. It's being produced by the guys in England that are doing the Squadron 42. So you're going to see yeah, you're going to see my understanding is the Gladius squadrons are used to okay, maybe they're older, because I'm reading and it says they're an older design. Okay, I got it backwards. The Gladius is an older design, the Hornet's a newer design, and the Gladius was upgraded to the Hornets and also the F8 Lightnings. Okay, that's what the F8 Lightning's the one with the upgraded sensor suites and everything. Okay, no problem. Sorry, my bad. The spacecraft is available to civilians and retired military models with the same specifications and upgrade potential. Now, of course, classified weapons technologies have been removed. Yeah, and they put civilian weapons on. It's 20 meters long. I don't really have a comparison here. I do have a comparison. Let me compare that to something like, let's say, the Hornet. The Hornet is 22.5 meters long. Okay, so it's actually a little bit shorter. It's 16 meters wide, where the Hornet is 21 meters wide. 9,800 kilograms, where the Hornet is 22,000 kilograms. So you're looking at 9,700 compared to 22,000 kilograms. So the welcome back.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. I was comparing the weight of a Hornet compared to the Gladius. The Gladius's weight is only 9,700 kilograms, where the Hornet has a weight of 22,000 kilograms. So more than double. It's like 2.5 times as heavy. Okay, they both have 0 freight units. Okay, so they're not carrying any freight. They both have a crew of 1. They both have a max power of 4. They both have... Okay, the Hornet has an engine max thrust of TR4, where the Gladius has 2 TR2s. So if they are the same, like if 2 TR2s put out the same as a 4, which I don't think they will. They're probably going to put out less. But if they do put out the same thrust, then the Gladius is just going to move 100 times faster. Well, maybe not 100 times faster, but it's going to move a lot faster.
Okay.
Now, it only has 8 TR1s, where the Hornet has 8 TR2s. Now, if a TR2 has double the thrust of a TR1, then the Gladius will be more maneuverable because it's less than half the weight. Even though it's half the thrust, but less than half the weight. So the thrust ratio is actually higher. So it's going to be as maneuverable, if not more maneuverable, than the Hornet. Okay, its shield is an Ascension Astro Solo Shield, and I recommend an Ascension Astro Solo Shield because that saved my life like 10 years ago when I was fighting the Vandal. Yeah, no, I don't even, who knows? It just says max shield is 3, and on a Hornet its max shield is 4. But you know, we really don't know. Okay, it's hard points, right? It has a nose, which has 2 laser... Wait, what? The wings. The nose has a Gallison Tactical System Scorpion GT 215 Gatling. But if you look at any of the pictures, it doesn't show a Gatling on their front. Mm-hmm. It shows some kind of dual turreted type laser cannon or something. Right. So maybe that's the military version. And what we're getting access to is the civilian version. So they replaced it with a Gatling gun, a single Gatling gun. The wings actually have bearing M3 laser cannons, which I think are crap, and you need to upgrade that. And then Class 3 missiles, it has the exact same thing that... wow. They have dumbfire missiles. They have... Thermite light fire Apollo 1 dumbfire missiles. Mm-hmm. Okay, so they basically suck. So we're going to have to upgrade our missile pods to actual infrared or radar seeking missiles because the missiles aren't any good. They're just going to fire straight forward and hopefully you hit something. And then, so basically they'll be good against capital ships because they're not going to get out of the way. They'll be good against the Idris and maybe a Constellation and anything that's our base. Or an asteroid hangar or something. They're going to be great against those kind of things, but they're going to suck against other fighters.
Yeah.
How much damage do they do? I don't know. Nobody knows. Okay, but what I'll do is when I get a hold of one, I'll just upgrade the wing lasers and the nose and the missiles and basically just strip all the guns off of it because they basically nerfed it to the point where it's not going to be a good fighter. But then again, it might not have enough power to... It has the same power as a... never mind. It has the same power as a Hornet. So it's going to have power to put it out for the any weapons you add on to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And luckily it doesn't have a turret, and that... Because I think from my playthrough of the dogfighting module, the turret is really an unnecessary addition. Those wingtip guns... are just good enough, and the missiles, and I don't even put anything in my nose, and I don't put anything in my turret. I even take the turret out. I take the turret out and put in the box, and then just go with the wingtip guns. Maybe I'll add something in the turret because I might just be fiddle farting around just to make sure. But I've noticed that the turret blows off too easy, and so do the wings. The wings break off easy too, so. It's good to have guns in other locations so that if something does break, you can switch to a different type of gun. But, yeah, that's how I do it. When I do have the turret and the wing guns, I just shoot one or the other, and I don't shoot both. So hearing the stats, knowing how light it is and the type of thrust and the size of it, it's about the same length. It's 2 meters shorter. And its height is 4 meters, where a Hornet's height is 6 meters. So it's a lot shorter and a little bit shorter in length. And and the width is 16, where a Hornet is 21. So it's a little bit more compact. What do you think about it?
No, I like it. Personally, I think it's something that, as far as as far as it goes, I don't know. I mean, I like what I have right now. I like the 300i and I like the Hornet, but and the Gladius I think would be an interesting. I think it'd be an interesting ship to work with, and I'm I think the issue, of course, is that since we can't work with it, we're not going to know what it's like until we get it. But
Right.
my guess is that it's going to be a very spry ship to work with.
Yes. I think it's going to be very maneuverable.
Hmm.
Um, okay. It does. I misspoke before you got up and had to go do that. I misspoke. This is actually the predecessor to the Hornet.
Yeah. Okay.
It's not. It doesn't come out after the Hornet. The Hornet
Right.
is still the current fighter. This is the ship that came out before the Hornet,
Hmm.
and a lot of the squadrons that used to have Gladiuses have now upgraded to the Hornet or the Lightning, and so that's how these became on the market. Basically, they were hand-me-downs, basically from the Navy. I've noticed that in the specs, there's a note, and it says the decommissioning process has also made room for civilian standard upgrades such as jump drives.
Okay.
So this thing is a fighter that will be able to will be able to go through a jump point.
Hmm.
I do not think that the Hornet will be able to go through the jump point.
Right.
Only the Super Hornet. The Super Hornet apparently is like a long range. It does have that jump drive possibility.
Hmm.
Yeah, it has a leaper jump drive,
Hmm.
where the other Hornets don't have that, and I don't even think they can equip it because they just don't have enough. Upgrade spots.
Hmm.
Which they've taken off the stats. They're not actually showing upgrade spots anymore.
Okay.
Yeah, and so by decommissioning it, basically they took out black boxes and stuff, I guess. And then it left holes in the chassis. So maybe we can smuggle somebody or put a Marine in there and have them drop out. No, I don't know. Maybe I think a jump drive would be pretty cool, or additional missiles, or a torpedo, or who knows what. Yeah, I think that would be cool. I think it's a valuable addition to the Star Citizen universe. In a real world situation. Okay, I know this is a fantasy game, but if this game was real, there would be more than 20 types of ships. There would be hundreds, right? Thousands, and so every ship they introduce is exciting and new, but it's going to blend in with the other ships. There will be other ships that can do better at this or better at that. So the one thing I think this thing can do best is it's probably cheap, for one thing. It probably is. It's probably an inexpensive ship.
Right.
But I think what it does best is it's probably a fast fighter. Where, like you said, it can turn on a dime and things like that. But I think the problem or what they'll work into the system, the reason why we upgraded away from that is probably because it's too light.
Right.
Doesn't carry a big enough punch. And that's why we went with a Hornet. But I don't know. I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
So now, you have any other comments or anything you want to talk about while we got you captive here on the show?
No, I actually, I was just trying to think offhand, and not. Yeah, I don't really have anything right now. I know we're drawing to a close within about our last 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I think it. Again, I just wanted to give a shout out to everybody as far as us, you and me, and in Cats as far as the First Royal Aerospace Squadron, and being a part of something great. And our ranks are again, we've stayed small, but our ranks have swelled by quite a bit, I think. And we've got players, we got people that are actually in our team speak and playing. I mean, that's what they're doing. They are in Arena Commander, they're talking, and I think that's really cool.
I do too. Our unit, if anybody wants to go check it out, it's right there at the base of the monitor here. It shows First Royal Aerospace Squadron. You're more than welcome to come check out the website and check out what we have to offer. We are a small unit, like Parasite was saying, you know, under 50 right now. We are slowly expanding. You know, we're getting probably 1 or 2 every couple of days, probably, you know. So they don't, by the time Star Citizen comes out, maybe we'll be 100, 200 people, you know. That's probably where we'll be at. We'll probably not get any bigger than that. We're not shooting to become like the Imperium or something. We're just trying to be a Marine aerospace squadron that can compete in competitions and can save the universe from ultimate destruction or whatever. You know, we're just basically trying to we role play that we're Marines in a aerospace squadron and portray, that's what we portray, and we're here to protect people against pirates, but we also perform bounty hunting duties, we also explore, we also protect convoys, and but we also have our own merchants that do their own convoying, and we'll protect them too. So we actually do a whole plethora of things. So yeah, come check us out and see what we have to offer.
Yeah, we have a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's the. And also we play MechWarrior Online too. So if you're interested in that, we've got we share a TeamSpeak with our sister unit, the Davian Royal House Guard, and you can come out there and check them out too if you want. Let me think. Some other stuff that we could probably tell. I can tell them about my channel, my Twitch channel, really. It's more so than the YouTube channel. The YouTube channel, I only put from the verse on pretty much. Or you can actually watch some of the videos that I record on Twitch. I upload them to YouTube, but I live stream them on Twitch. And you can find that at Royal GN, like that's Royal Game Network, at twitch.com. Or not, twitch.tv. I'm sorry. There we go. And twitch.tv/RoyalGN. But I'm playing Defiance every Monday night, starting at the same time, 8 o'clock. Defiance is a first-person shooter in a sci-fi setting. It's based on the TV show, and that's kind of helping me get back into the whole first-person shooter mode where I got to duck behind cover and run from cover to cover and blast aliens and stuff like that, or mutants and things like that. And I think that's going to help me in Star Citizen when we get to actually do first-person shooting. Okay, but it's all, and that's a free game you can download and play for free. I do the MechWarrior Online thing. We're going to record MechWarrior Online every Thursday night on Twitch, so you can watch that. And I've just recently started a new series that I'm excited about, and you all know that I love this game, XCOM. I was kind of browsing YouTube, not really looking for anything, and I saw a guy playing a game of XCOM, and it was titled XCOM The Long War, and I had no idea what that was. I just figured that was his name for his XCOM game. So I pulled it up, and the very first thing he did in the video, luckily, was to tell me that it was a modified version of XCOM that somebody uploaded to Nexus that allowed you to just completely change the game, and it made the game a completely different game, pretty much. And so I stopped the video immediately because I don't like any spoilers. And I went and downloaded that patch, and I put it on my XCOM. And last night, around midnight, I started a playthrough. And already I'm like, oh my gosh, this game's completely different that's just like what he said. It's completely different, which is good. I love it. Because I've always loved XCOM, but I'm also now excited to find out what all the new developments are. So if you want, you can come by and check out Twitch at midnight approximately. That would be midnight Eastern time, which is probably 11 here, or because I'm in Central time. So just late at night, I'll be playing XCOM, and then I'm excited about that. Yeah, so, and that's it. That's pretty much all I'm doing right now and what you're doing. And okay, so we'll just close it out. And I want to say thank you guys for coming out and checking out this video. Tell your friends about this video. Get them to come and watch it live. Or if you don't, you can just have them watch the recordings. This is our 6th episode. Unfortunately, Katz couldn't make it. So we're going to have to like wrangle him up because he's got all this information on the Starfarer and he's supposed to be putting all that out. But, you know, what can you do, right? All right, so we'll catch you next time in the verse. Or from the verse, hey.